It's difficult to put into words exactly how I felt when I first came across Spice and Wolf. It's an interesting anime. I got into the show much later than most people probably did, because it was released pretty early in my life, and I didn't really start watching anime intensely until I was in college, and my experience with it was honestly pretty transcendent. On one hand, it seems like it should be really boring, because on paper, it is an anime about math, about stocks and bonds and trading and really intricate knowledge about medieval economics. And if that is something that you are interested in, like me, sure, it's something that you would like. But this show seems to have transcended that, and it seems like a lot of people like this show a lot, even though it's about something as boring as basic medieval economics. I shouldn't reduce the concept down to that much. I think outside of the medieval economics shenanigans that occur throughout the show, the real reason people are attracted to this show is the relationship between the main character of Lawrence and Holo. I remember it is truly one of those shows I watched probably every single episode of Season 1 in one day, and it felt like I didn't even blink. Episode after episode delivers on its promise of fun, action-packed, quote-unquote, adventures that these characters go through, and each one deepens their relationship in a different and meaningful way. That relationship is probably the best part of this show if we really get down to it. As much as I love talking about coins and the ways exchange rates can impact a man's livelihood and watching him literally freak out anytime something changes or doesn't go as he expects, the true core of this show is the relationship between Lawrence and Holo. The two meet in interesting circumstances, since Lawrence technically does some accidental ritual thing that he doesn't really understand and brings back Holo by accident. But now that she's free of the village, she actually really wants to come with him and explore the world, and most importantly, go back home where she came from. The concept of Holo being an immortal wolf goddess and Lawrence being, well, just a guy, is a really important part of this show. It's the most complicated part of their entire relationship, and it's what basically makes all of their conflicts occur. Holo's relationship isn't exactly peachy with humans, considering the fact that she is a wolf, and humans and wolves typically don't really get along with each other. And Lawrence seems to have some wolf-specific trauma. Something about seeing one of his friends get eaten alive has just left him with a big fear of the fluffy little pre-dog dogs. Their relationship is symbiotic. Lawrence enjoys the company, but also Holo often offers great advice about people and things he hears from others, such as market trends or whether somebody might be lying about the fact that a coin is going to decrease in value soon. I don't want to spoil too much about the series right off the bat, because I think the beauty is just experiencing this whole little thing unfold. This one is a slow burn. These two go through a very long, arduous will they, won't they throughout the entire 2 seasons of the original show. And I loved every second of it. I really enjoyed the will they, won't they combined with the fun, wacky sort of economic drama going on in the background, with the occasional fantasy big action sequence from time to time, just to keep you watching, you know? But I was distraught to find that, well, it was over. The show only had 2 seasons and left its story unfulfilled, the will they, won't they unresolved at probably one of the heights of its tension. And of course, I could go read the light novel, but I don't want to fucking do that. I don't have time. I don't want to read. If you're like me and you share this aversion to reading, well, I have something good to tell you. They've brought the show back. The show has returned, and it is incredible. I'm so happy to see the original's charm and mystique kept intact with the new art style, and I'm even more happy to see that we might actually get a resolution this time. The remake has 3 episodes, but so far it looks really, really positive, at least as I'm recording this. And the reasons I think you should watch this are pretty similar to why I think you should probably go back and also watch the original, just if you're interested in what I consider to be some of the peak anime of all time. I can never get enough of this. My lovely roommate Andrew says that he hates this kind of stuff, or that he thinks it should be left for the super nerds such as myself, and well, I kind of agree with him, but I definitely love the world building in this show, and it goes crazy. You learn the different value of silver coins in the 3rd episode, and it's just like a whole fucking thing, and I love it. This video isn't meant to be too deep. It's meant to just kind of brush the surface of this really intense experience that I think everybody should have a chance with. It's a story with heart and depth, and it's not the same thing you've heard over and over again, retold in the same fashion in a slightly different setting, which anime these days tend to kind of suffer from. And I know that's ironic because this is a remake of an old anime, but honestly, if it gives us the ending to this series that so many of us really, really wish we could have, then that's amazing. And to be totally honest, from the intro, things are looking up. It looks like we might actually have a foreseeable ending, and that's awesome, and I really hope that this show gets treated with the love and care that it truly deserves. But I have learned the famous saying, and let's just say, because of Promise Neverland, I have learned never to count those chickens until they have truly hatched, because things could go south at any given moment. I've seen 3 episodes of it, and I'm really happy, and so far I'm excited every week to get the next episode, but that could obviously change depending on if they stay faithful to the original series, because there already have been a few little change-ups that, to be totally frank, I don't really mind. I think they're pretty good. Now that I think about it, maybe this video isn't about getting you to watch this show. Maybe the video is just about me wanting to ramble about one of my favorite shows for a little bit, and the remake that I have been dying to see since I have started watching anime about 6 years ago. Right, reasons you should watch this show. Back to the reason I guess I made this video. This is off rails. This is a fucking train wreck. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. The chemistry between the 2 main characters is absolutely phenomenal. Holo and Lawrence play off of each other perfectly. Holo is kind of spicy, and Lawrence is a little too proud to ever back down from things, so he's often running head forward into Holo's traps and ridiculous games. Sometimes being a bit too sincere or not understanding that Holo will take things to the absolute extreme, such as buy a seemingly stupid amount of apples, like an amount of apples that would never be consumed in a reasonable amount of time, unless of course you are a wolf girl, in which case you eat them all in like 5 minutes, I guess. They're also not really good people. They lie, they cheat people out of things, they'll use weird things to their advantage, and they'll definitely allow somebody to take a hit if they can take a gain. It's just fun to watch them navigate a world like this that has a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of fantasy pizzazz. They are crafty individuals. They both like to scheme and come up with little plots to get through things, but their pride often makes them keep the other person on the dark, so they're oftentimes just one good conversation away from solving the problem. But you know kind of how the CIA and FBI both knew that something was gonna happen at those towers on that day, and they just like had a talk with each other, they would have figured it out? Should I leave that analogy in? I don't know if that was a good idea. Anyways, yeah, that's how like most arcs go. Like they both come up with really good solutions, but they just need the other person's solution to make the mega solution that would solve all their problems. And it's a pretty fun setup and closing every time. And let's just say I might have wept tears of bitter joy as I listened to that remixed intro for the first time, really got back into it, and saw that first episode. It was like a breath of fresh air, as if an old friend who I hadn't talked to in years had just waltzed back in the door and sat down in front of me. And I think whether it's your second time experiencing this story or your first, there's a lot to be had here. And I think I'm actually going to go rewatch some of the second season that I didn't really get around to watching for this video right now. And I hope you guys will join me. It's been a great ride, and I'm really excited to see what this show has to offer for you and for me. But if you enjoyed what I had to say, or listened to this whole thing in its entirety, and enjoyed my voice or whatever, and thought it was funny, and liked a couple of the jokes, then please feel free to comment or subscribe or something along those lines. And I will see you in the next one.